Okay, so first, what is code splitting? Okay, it is a technique used in web development to improve the performance of web applications by breaking down the code into smaller, manageable chunks. Okay, so by breaking down the code into smaller and manageable chunks, okay, to improve the performance of the web application and also actually on the part of the programmer for us, it would make our code more manageable, okay, because it is possible that our code would be is going to grow tremendously, that it would be very difficult to manage if ever that we are going to have it on a single file. Okay, so for example, in our previous code, so we have here now our script. Okay, so how about if ever I'm going to have, okay, I'm going to have the style. Okay, then I'm just going to have here, let us say, in our language, we have here pula, meaning red. Okay, so I'm just going to have the color. And maybe I'm going to have verde. The color would be green. Okay, so I have here a very simple style. Then to use that, so we are going to have it here. For example, I'm going to have class, oops, pula. Okay, save. Okay, save it there. So we have here now our class, our CSS, a very simple CSS actually. So we have here the red pula with color red. Okay, but anyway, what I'm trying to point out here is that I have created here a style. Then I have also here my script. Okay, now again, it is possible that we could still have some more styles that we could put in our CSS here and also with our script. Okay, so with what we have in our previous frameworks, so we are going to separate the files for the style, okay, for the CSS, and also with our script. Okay, and that is also what we are going to do here. We are going to split our files, okay, so that we could separate the style, the script, and our HTML code. Okay, but then how are we going to do that here in Google Apps Script? Because when we are going to add a file, so as you can see, we could only create a script and HTML files. Okay, so we couldn't create a .css or .js files within or in our project. Okay, but then the technique here is actually to just create an HTML file. Then we are going to include those files that contains our, for example, in our CSS or in our script. Okay, so I'm going to create first for my style. Okay, so add a file, then HTML. I'm just going to name it styles. Okay, so I have now created here an HTML file for my styles. And then later on, I'm going to include all of this, the content of this file, into my index. Okay, but in this case, I would be including another HTML. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove all of them. Then from here, I'm going to copy, or I'm going to cut actually, okay, and paste them here. Okay, so the content now of this file are our CSS. Okay, so you could add some more if you want to add have, or if you want to have some more classes here, so you could still add some more on this file. So you are not going to worry anymore that it is going to be mixed with your algorithm. This is because we have now separated our styles in a separate file. Okay, and also we are going to create a script. Okay, I'm just going to call it scripts or my script or whatever. Okay, then I'm going to get my script code here. Okay, I'm going to cut that. Then I'm going to, oops, no, it should, where it is. It should be an HTML, okay. I'm going to remove that. Then HTML and scripts. Okay, then paste my script here. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to include them. Okay, now so that I could include that, so I'm going to use our scriptlets. Oops, question mark. Then okay, so what I'm going to do here is take note. These files here do not return anything. Okay, just like with our scripts in our code.js, that they return something. We are using here the return statement. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to get the content of this file, these files, and include them into our index.html, or no matter where are you going to include those files. Okay, so I'm going to use the HTML service class or service. Okay, the create HTML output from file. Okay, then okay, I'm going to have first my styles. Okay, now if ever I'm just going to have this one here, so it is going to expect that I'm going to return, or it is going to return an HTML file. Okay, but what I want to do is I'm just going to get the content of that file and I'm going to include it here. So I have here get content. Okay, I'm just getting there the content of this file and include it here into my index.html. Okay, so I'm just going to have first my this one here. Okay, later on I'm going to include also my script. So save the file, the project, then refresh. Oops. Okay, so it read my include file as HTML, okay, as a code. Why? Okay, I have a problem here. In my code.js, I am returning the index.html as HTML. Okay, it should be as a template. Okay, so instead that I'm going to return an HTML file, so I'm going to return HTML service that create template from file. Okay, then I'm going to have index. Okay, so since we are directly returning without any definition for any variables, I'm just going to have the evaluate method here. Save. So as you can see, we have now our H1 here in black. It's supposedly if ever that this is going to be included, so it is going to return, this will become red. Okay, so refresh. Okay, so it is now red. So I have now successfully included, okay, the file styles.html. Okay, and I have returned it. Now, as I have returned it, I have included it here within the head area. Okay, so we have here now the method get content. Okay, so we are not expecting here an HTML output, but the output or the text included or contained within the styles. Okay, so I'm going to have also my scripts. Okay, because as of now, as I'm going to click on click me, Okay, I have here an error. Okay, button clicked is not defined. Why? It is because as of now we have not included yet our um, scripts .html. Okay, so I'm going to save this one here, then reload. As I'm going to click on here, so it should display the content. I think this is the get greetings. Okay, click. So we have here now greetings from the server, which is actually contained on my scripts .html. We have this one here, button clicked. Okay, it is now separated from the main file. Okay, so again, what I am using here is the HTML service. Okay, so we are going to keep on having this command here every time that we are going to add something. Okay, but how about I want this one to be shortened. Okay, so what are we going to do is we are going to on code.js. Okay, I have already created. Okay, so I have created here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function. Okay, I'm going to call it include, and I'm going to require as parameter the file name of the file to be included. Okay, and I'm going to have the HTML service that we have in our index. I just copy this one actually. Then I'm going to return the content, whatever is the file name passed into this function. Okay, then here instead that I'm going to use each time, I'm going to use every time that I'm going to include something, I'm going to use the HTML service. I'm just going to call the function include and the file name. Okay, and also with for the scripts include and scripts. Okay, so we have now included or call the function here. But by the way, take note of this. Okay, meaning it is going to display, and this one here as scriptlet is going to call a function from the server, and we have defined an include function. Then we have this is styles added, or we have included here as styles that HTML actually we have here. Okay, and scripts that HTML for our style, for our CSS and our JavaScript. Okay, let us say I'm going to include Verde. Okay, save, then refresh. Oops, there's a problem. Include styles. Oh, we forget the return statement. Okay, save and refresh. Okay, so we are there now. Okay, so this is how are you going to split your codes in Google Apps script. Okay, so take note, we have used our scriptlets, okay, so that we could include those files. So again, we could create only script and HTML, and again our CSS file and our script file or our JS file, supposedly our script is now are now actually contained within an HTML file. Then we have included them by calling or by getting the content for this. Okay, by getting now the content of those files. Okay, so with this code, it is now more manageable compared with our other with the previous file that we have. Okay, actually you could also use it just in case, okay, case to case basis. If you want, or if you have something to include into our body, you could still use our scriptlets to include whatever files or whatever code that you are going to separate from the main file. Okay, so that's how are we going to split our codes in Google Apps script.